To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So yesterday we set out our trap, live trap, because we were having some wildlife issues harassing our chickens. In yesterday's video I told you that one of our chickens was attacked through the chicken wire. It's a pretty common occurrence actually. Typically they don't get the wing like ours, they get the head. Well, you can see here that we did catch our little critter, that little raccoon. He's not too scared. I figured he'd be pretty scared. I put a chicken leg in there and he's eating the entire chicken leg, it looks like. So we're going to relocate him out to the conservation area. Now, there is some warning here that I want to tell you about, that if you do decide to relocate, you need to check the laws in your state and area. Many areas are starting to ban relocation on pest animals, such as raccoons and possums. They say that it's causing more damage than good. I'm not sure I completely agree with that. In Missouri, I can imagine, doesn't agree with that too much either. I want to make sure that we got most of our chickens here. Make sure nothing got in the middle of the night. And there's a bunch of them there. First thing I'm going to do is shut off my trail cam, the SD card out of that. But in the state of Missouri, I just looked, because if you're on YouTube, boy, you do anything wrong, somebody's out there to get you. So I thought I better look this morning and make sure I wasn't breaking any laws. I don't know why. I had this gut instinct like I better check. So, but in the state of Missouri, according to the conservation rule book, you can relocate animals that are causing damage to your property and farm animals. There's Frenchie. Come here, Frenchie. Sometimes he'll let you pet him. I guess I should have caught him. I always bring their water out. For some reason, the chickens don't like to go inside to drink their water. Come here, Frenchie. There he is. See? He'll fight for a second, but once you start rubbing, he gets over it. Okay, so now I'm going to put the chickens that are in the camper. We got littler chickens that are still growing up, because if we don't separate the little chickens from the big chickens, then Frenchie beats them up pretty good. So this is Two-Face. I've showed you her before. She's an Americana or an Easter egger. And we call her Two-Face because one of her eyes, I guess, was damaged. She's very small compared to the other ones. And so one of her eyes were damaged. So when you looked at her from one side, she looked completely different than she did from the other side. And so I thought of the Batman character Two-Face. But she is so tame now that we took her into the house to fix her up. We put her in the house for about a week. And she is really tame now. It's funny, she acts scared. She runs around like she's scared, but I always save her to the last so I can pet her. When everybody's put into the little box, she's completely fine. She lets me pick her up and pet her, but while she's with the other chickens, she acts all scared. Seems like she's almost pretending to be scared. So the others think that she's just like them. But then she lets me pick her up and pet her. So I always keep a bucket of water because I only run my well once a day. I keep a bucket of water because the chickens go through so much water. I got two of these water feeders for the meat chickens, and they go through both of them in 6 hours, I would say. But that's the best way to deal with the heat with chickens, is constantly giving them fresh, clean water. And they seem to be okay as long as they got all the water they can drink. I watched a YouTuber feed his chickens, and he put water in and they just all dashed to the feeder. Tells me they've been out of water for even a half hour. If they're out of water for even a little bit of time, they're thirsty. Chickens need constant water. Now in the wintertime, it's even going to be more challenging because it's going to freeze. So I'm going to have to come out every few hours and change out their water feeder. Well, that's frightening. You want to be so careful when you're relocating these animals. They may have rabies. There's a door on the back of this that will swing open. Now, if you catch a skunk, you got a real problem. What I have is I have a raincoat that I'll put on, a rain shawl, and then I'll try to take a towel and cover the cage so it can't spray me. Of course, it's a good chance it might. So I'm gonna take this up to the truck now. You gotta be careful that you don't stick your hands in there. Okay, so we've made it down to the conservation area. I've taken you down to this river or creek or whatever you want to call it before. And I felt like that if we brought the raccoon down here, that would have a better chance of successful relocation if there is an unsuccessful one. And because, first of all, he's going to be thirsty. He, she, whatever it is. It's going to be thirsty, so there's water right away. And there's going to be plenty of things that he can eat on. There's going to be lizards and frogs and just all kinds of little wildlife that he's going to be able to eat. So I feel like this is probably the best solution for him. I hate that I have to do this. I wouldn't mind having him around. He doesn't make that big of a mess around the house, but I can't have the chickens being killed by him or desperately injured, either one. So I'm going to let him go right by the water and let him make the decision on what he wants to do. So he dashed right up there. I think he's going to be quite happy. Found a home real quick, or at least a hiding spot. So now he'll be able to get some rest. When he wakes up this evening, he'll come down and get some water. Fantastic. So I was kind of disappointed. Got home and I checked my trail cam, and for some reason it didn't work last night. 11:30, roughly 11:30, I got this video of an armadillo. It only went for 9 seconds. Now I've got the trail cam set to go for 1 minute. Now when I got up this morning, I came down and I recorded the raccoon. The trail cam picked me up, but the lens of course was very wet and it was very foggy last night. So I'm wondering if the trail cam didn't pick up any motion because it was so foggy. Just really odd. But I came down and I tested it this morning. It's working again, so hopefully I'll be able to pick something up tonight if something comes back. I really want to get that possum. The raccoons I don't think are as big of a problem right now. They seem to stay away from the chickens from all the trail cam footage that I've got, but the possum's pretty brave. In the meantime, I do have that hardware cloth now wrapped around, so he won't be able to reach in and grab any of them. So I started studying a little bit more about this relocation thing, and many states are making it illegal, because it just didn't make any sense to me, because I know that raccoons and possums both will relocate their homes. If food becomes scarce in the area, raccoons and possums both will relocate. They actually move quite frequently. They don't stay in an area very long. So I did some research on this. What I'm learning is if you live in a city and you have a raccoon problem, the raccoons don't know how to hunt. They know how to scavenge. And so what city folks will do is they'll trap the raccoon and then they'll take it out to the country. Well, it won't survive. Of course, it'll get rejected raccoons specifically, will get rejected by any other raccoons in the area. So it won't even be able to rely on the other raccoons to teach it how to hunt. What I did today, by putting it by a water source with lots of food, it should do fine. So relocating from a country area to another country area usually doesn't cause a lot of harm from what I can understand to the raccoon. Most likely it will survive. Now, if I can catch its family members here, which I'm sure I will, then I'll just take them all to the same spot. Hopefully they'll get together and then they'll kind of establish a new home together. Even if I could catch another one, they'll do better than just one. It just seemed very odd to me that you can't relocate, because that's everything I've ever done my entire life. And now all of a sudden you're not allowed to do it. It's hard to keep up with the laws. They just change so fast. And you may be doing something legal one day and the next day you're not. I don't know of any other humane way of doing something. A lot of people will tell you, oh, just shoot it because it's harassing your chickens. But I don't see the need to do that. I really don't. I don't need to kill everything that comes walking by. So I'm feeling a lot better that I did the right thing today. I'm glad I looked, because I am taking it to a government facility, conservation area, Missouri State Conservation. So if I'd have gotten caught by a conservation officer and it would have been illegal, then I'm sure there would have been fines involved. But I did. I went to their webpage and I did everything correct. I hope I can inspire you to keep working at your problems so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.